What's up, it's your boy NicholassRivas, and I talk about politics and stuff, and today we're talking about my funny experience with a Trump supporter. So I canvassed for the Democratic Party. I was canvassing for Democrats across the ballot in Arizona, knocking doors, trying to talk with Democrats. When I was knocking on doors, I ran into a supporter of Trump. And to preface, the person I spoke to was amazing. This person, as much crap as I'm throwing at them, what it seems like, I really do want to respect that they even gave me an opportunity to talk with them. So when I was talking to this person, they basically told me the reason they're more conservative is because of their economic woes. And I wanted to hear them out. You know, I wanted to just be an ear for them and basically, you know, talk about politics and kind of keep it in my mind that this person is probably not going to be swayed, but this person is probably, you know, maybe an agnostic voter. And I think my impression was correct. They weren't fully a Trump supporter, but they were conservative. And we talked about it, how they couldn't afford stuff, how they couldn't, you know, live properly. Their home was falling apart and they couldn't afford it. Those are real issues. And as someone who understands politics, I know it's not going to be fixed overnight with a Kamala, I'm sorry. I know it's not going to be fixed with a Trump. Like, these are not overnight fixes. And also there's like this nuance. Like, she was giving me the impression that she kind of did it in some moments. She would say stuff like, you know, oh, Biden's done nothing for these 4 years. And I'm like, oh, I mean, that's fair. Yeah, like, he hasn't. But Trump, when we were under Trump, things were good. And it's like, well, that's a baby way of thinking of stuff. Like, were there policies that Trump did that were probably phenomenal for her? Maybe. I imagine such. For myself, I can't really pin that, and I didn't want to press her anymore, but maybe there was. How I looked at it, though, is, did Trump do anything? Like, I'm trying to think, like, what were his plans in a gridlocked Congress? His tax plan that helped you? The tax plan that benefited more rich people than anything? Like, that really helped you? Are we ignoring some of the benefits of our economy during the Obama time? That seemed to be why 2016 on was so good up until COVID. Again, these are like nuanced adult conversations, right? And I wasn't trying to have that at this lady's doorstep. Like, you know, I was trying to be productive, but also realistic. And if this was like a full-on debate where we had to do research, I would probably pull out stuff like that, like numbers and pound for pound bills and policies, right? But that's not the case. We were talking on the side of her driveway, right? Like, that doesn't like give itself to a spirited debate with healthy, you know, like I caught her while she was waking up in the morning. That's just not fair to her. It's not fair to myself. Fast forward, we're having this conversation, and even though I think a lot of what she's saying is incorrect, I'm like, you know, I respect that she even opened the door for me, and I'm respecting that she even talked to me, and we're having a pretty healthy discussion. But the part where it got the kookiest, and the reason I really wanted to make this is because during our conversation, she says one of the biggest reasons that she is against Kamala is because so many people are bullying Trump. They bully him. They attack him, she says. And I looked at her. It was hard to keep my face straight. Maybe that's where she caught on that I was like, I can't agree with you, lady. Like, this seems like way too much. So fast forward again. I'm holding it all in. But she's talking about bullying. They bully Trump. They bully. She just keeps using that term. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? The candidate who is known for his bullying, for good or bad, right? Like, people like to crap on Trump's bullying. I don't think it's productive. But I also think, well, the guy won his election. I think he probably knows something about what he was saying. Like, in that regard of, He really got people on his side, I think, because, or at the very least got attention because of his bullying, right? But regardless of how you think it benefits or not, you can't sit there and say, like, he's not a bully. And she kept making it seem like he was being attacked, you know, like the people were, you know, attacking him kind of unpromptly. You know, Trump was just standing there and they just threw a rock at him, you know, like, it just doesn't make any sense. And that's where she kind of lost me, you know. Like, I'm sitting there trying to really respect what she's saying, and not to say I don't respect what she was saying, but I, as a person trying to respect her, I did lose little pieces of it, right? Like, it's hard. Like, if she said the sky is blue, I'd be like, cool, yeah, that's fine. But then you start saying stupid stuff like, I think the sky is yellow. Obviously, you don't think this person is the dumbest person in the world, but you think, okay, what happened? You think something's wrong. So when she says something so outrageous, Trump is not a bully, Trump is the one who is bullied, you like, how do you look at that person and not think like, okay, like, were you just blind for the past like 8 years? Like, I genuinely don't want to be a dick, but how else are you supposed to take some of this stuff? Like, are you just ignoring everything that's ever happened? Like, are we just picking and choosing? What's your definition of bullying? I'm looking way into it, and the reality is, like, I just don't think she cares. I think the bullying, when he does it, is funny, so she lets it slide. But everyone else, when they say something or call him out, it's an attack, and maybe she relates to it. I don't know. It's a crazy feeling to try to wrap your head around it. But I lost my mind. I respected her. I hope she does well. I hope she gets, you know, on her feet when it comes to this economic, like, issues that she's been burdened with. But she is kooky. She is kooky to say all this stuff. And I mean it with as much sincerity as I can. Like, I don't want this ill will towards her. I feel that she is a smart person, and she should just know better, you know? But it is what it is. She said what she said, and I respect her for it. And fast forward, I'm about to leave. The conversation was crazy bananas, but, you know, you take what you would take from it. And as I was leaving, the part that made me even more want to tell the story is her kids are outside. And I saw that there was a young woman and a young man. And I don't know if the young man or young woman, I think at first it was a young woman, but I think the man jumped in and started saying this. But as I'm leaving, I hear them saying, like, you know, what were you talking about out there? What the heck? Why were you out there for so long? And the woman's like, oh, you know, I had this conversation with this man. And they're like, oh, is he a Trump supporter? Is this? And she tells me, no, he's a Democrat or something like that. Or maybe she says, like, he's not. And they go, what? Trump 2024. And I don't know if they both said in unison, or maybe that's just kind of what I was hearing in my mind. But eventually I swear that I'm hearing them say, like, in chant, Trump 2024. Like, they're saying it more than once. I don't think it was a full-on chant, because, again, I just put my headphones in. I'm walking away. I'm trying to ignore it all. But I swear I'm hearing them, like, full-on chant. Not, like, the loudest chant, but just kind of, like, as I'm walking by, like, Trump 2024. And I can hear her kind of, like she's saying something. Like, I think she's either telling them, like, chill out, or, like, no, he's a sweet kid. Like, I think she was defending me. So, again, I feel bad, like, attacking this woman, you know, so harshly. But her views were so off. I feel like I can't ignore the elephant in the room, that she is, you know, spreading terrible misinformation about, like, this, how Trump is this innocent little baby. Like, obviously, like, that's a really bad position. But as a person, I respect that she even gave me the time of day. As a person, I respect that she engaged in this conversation. And as a person, I hope that there's an elected official that gets her closer to taking away from this economic disparity, right? That's my approach. And, you know, this is me in a healthy, sober mindset. I'm sure if I see a Trumper say that to me in another mindset that I have, or like when I'm in a bad mood, maybe I'll be like, man, F those Trumpers. But as of now, the conversation I had with this person, I respect. I think she is dead wrong. I think she's dangerously wrong. But I also see that she is someone who has just been hurt by the system. So, again, I'm giving her flowers because she deserves it. And hearing her defend me from her crazy kids is nothing but respect too. Like you can't argue against that, like, mindset that she had, you know? Like, she put the ear out for me, you know? And, like, I respect just even the opportunity, you know? So again, it's all love, it's all respect. I will combat her at any minute because of her crazy thoughts, and her crazy kids. But she wasn't the worst part of that story, funny enough. It was that, like, walking away and you're hearing Trump 2024, like, what? How stupid is that? What a dumb, childish. And I think they were young. I think they were like 20-some-year-olds, you know, saying just terrible things and stuff like that. And, you know, it's like maybe at that age it's funny to be edgy. If they were older, God, I hope not. But I think it's okay to give them a little bit of a pass, not enough to be like it's okay, they're just kids, but I do think like, oh, they're just not educated. I think that's a better point to make, because these kids saying that after I had such a healthy conversation with their mother, even though she said some crazy stuff, to, I don't know, I guess devalue like the healthy convo that your mother just laid in place shows just how like dumb that fan base is. Because I'm not going to sit here and say that, you know, Kamala is like this perfect saint that does everything correct, but I'm doubtful that someone comes to my door and they disagree with me and stuff, and I say, oh, Kamala 2024, like that's stupid. That's the dumbest thing in the world. I hope not. I hope there's not people on our side, and I don't see that. I'm not a sycophant to my politicians. I'm not this biased liberal who only loves liberals, and I hope not, right? And I hope they sit there and think that too. I think that woman did. I think that woman was old and wise enough to say, yeah, like I think there's both issues, because she seemed agnostic. To be fair, at the end of the conversation, I felt a lot of like, I don't know, on either side. Granted, she leaned more one way, and I think she had some kooky thoughts. I don't think that wisdom is there with those kids yet. And I think to say stuff to just someone who's like knocking on the door, obviously I felt that way because it was me. But if some Trumper came, I hope I would give him the respect and due diligence of like, I think you're supporting someone who's evil. And here's why. And if we get to that point in the conversations where we're just butting heads, like, oh, you know, it is what it is. Thanks for the combo. So I think I'll end it there. Peace.